Hi there, folks. This is episode 6, I think, of my Living Like Linus series. Don't know if I can really call it that anymore because, if you could tell, but I am no longer in the tent. So after I mentioned after that thing at the hospital and being told they wouldn't discharge me to a tent, I got onto the council about it, and they found me a place, moved me in over the weekend, and as far as temp accommodation goes, it's actually pretty nice. I'm in a quiet area. I'm speaking softer than usual because the walls are quite thin, I think. But I was told this was a kitchenette that I had. Maybe I'm lucky, but I'll show you this so-called kitchenette. Probably do the rest of my video in there as well. Bear with me a sec. So, this is the kitchenette. Or rather, kitchen. So, yeah, I mean, I even rescued some of the stuff from my car. Got one or two new things. Excuse the mess. Yeah, it's starting already. More about that in a minute. So yeah, I've been here a few days. I know I'd heard some horror stories about temp accommodation, but the guy doing the paperwork when I moved in, he even said I really landed on my feet with this one. I have really. It's nice and quiet. It's mostly self-contained. We just share a bathroom. Bathroom's downstairs, which is proving a bit of an issue with the problems I mentioned. I'll may or may not explain that in a bit. So there's a support worker that we have who's seen me at 3:30. Like, we have these support meetings with them once a week, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, on a related note, I finally got a date for my operation. So just a bit of an update there. So you can see there's some bruising indicating that there's been some internal bleeding, and you can even see the passes that's been dripping down my arm. And I think there's a bit of swelling of it's not so bad at the moment. Yesterday it looked pretty swollen. Don't know if it's partly my fault because I insist on playing the Steam Deck sometimes. I mean, there's not much else I could do, to be honest. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this operation, to be honest. I mean, not only am I sick of only having one workable hand to do stuff with, in fact, it's pretty clear I'm going to need some help to keep this place clean. There's a bit of rubbish piling up already. Things like tying the rubbish bag to pull it out is a bit of a challenge, let alone everything else. And sometimes they advise you to keep your fingers moving while in the cast, but it hurts every time I do that because of the nature of the break. And for that reason as well, like sometimes when I'm doing that or trying to give my arm a stretch or something, I can sometimes feel the bones grinding together in worries, which is unpleasant. So yeah, the sooner it's hopped on the better, to be honest. I am actually glad that my recent benefit payments have come in all at the same time, because I'm going to need it. I've already had to empty my car earlier than I thought I would, because when I went down there to get things like that suit maker, one of my old neighbours told me that the landlord had reported it abandoned, so it's likely to get towed. So I was like, okay, if that's how you're going to play it. So I just emptied my car out, left the car unlocked, left the keys in there. I was like, if it's going to be abandoned, then sure, take it. So yeah, I know it cost quite a bit of money, but I mean, I got the car with the impression I was going to be helped to learn to drive it, which never happened in the end. So yeah, I mean, not official yet, but it's just I'm just playing now as I don't have a car. So I do have a motorbike, which is still at my friend's place in a completely different village. With my hands better, I can probably see about renewing my CBT, so at least I have something. No rush for that at the moment, because before I got offered temp accommodation, and while it was still the whole I need somewhere to live pronto, I was actively browsing these lists, and I've had a chat with the 2 letting agents already. The first one disappeared before I could get a response from the council about it, because it's over the LHA rates, as is everything else these days, which I might have mentioned last episode. But I think I mentioned the other chat that I had about this fully furnished one, which I didn't want to jinx by mentioning too much about it. It's still listed as available at the moment. I've not heard back either way about it yet. I'm not sure how well it's going to go, even though, I mean, yeah, after I checked, my credit history is better than I thought it was, but I don't know how much of what I told the letting agent is going to count against me. But yeah, I mean, I still don't know yet how long I'm going to be in this place, which makes things a bit awkward. I mean, yeah, it's the nature of temporary accommodation, we clues in the name really. So a bit, I'm still technically homeless. I'm still between places. So I do need to register with the dentist. That much is non-negotiable. As far as registering with the GP goes, though, which I'm going to have to do because I'm out of the my current one's catchment area. I don't know how it's going to work with, like, maybe short-term GP registering or what. I don't know. I do have to do something in place so before my next set of pills run out, because withdrawing on venlafaxine isn't fun at the best of times, as I've mentioned. But yeah, as for anything else, yeah, I mean, it's like this place is like two other flats. Yeah, I can call them flats. They're more like studios. So you got the bed in the living area, plus the kitchenette in other places. I think I just got the biggest one. I say that because I spent a brief amount of time in another guy's flat because he had a TV to give away. So that was nice. So Oh yeah. One bonus of this, where I'm staying at the moment, is how central it is to everything. It's opened my eyes a bit to just what kind of area I really need. I mean, being in the tent was a good brain reset. I definitely needed that. I definitely needed time in the village. Um, just being more far away from things. Although I'm starting to feel what I really need is something like this, which is a good compromise. Like, it's frustrating being isolated in a place where um, the last bus home is like 8 o'clock or earlier, and they're only half an hour frequency. I've got a bit of a bruise, I think. I don't know. But here there's so many places, like even superstores, that are within walking distance. It's actually really nice. I think the furthest I've had to walk is about 20 minutes, half an hour. But on that note, there's this app called Too Good To Go, which you may or may not have heard of. It's like things like shops, supermarkets, and even restaurants selling surplus stock at very discounted prices. When I was in the village, I couldn't use it because everything was like a bus ride away, at least. Here, I've already picked up one mystery box from one shop, and a takeaway from a nearby carvery restaurant. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much spoiled for choice here, regarding not just shopping even, but just being able to pick up discounted stuff, which is really nice. The only bugbear, which is related more to my arm, is when it comes to eating. I've got things that would hopefully be easier just to eat. Pick up these things like, oh yeah, I can manage that. Get home and it's like, of course, before you can eat, you have to open the bloody thing. That is the main struggle. So, like, bowl of cereal, for instance, I had to struggle to open the inner bag with using that. I don't know if you saw me on another video, but I have to use my teeth a lot. So it's a whole grabbing the bag with one hand, using my teeth in the other, and hoping I don't end up with a bit of plastic in my mouth. Opening bottles for the first time is hard. Like that milk bottle that I got. I spent a good minute or so, I think, just wrestling with the top of the blooming milk bottle. So it's not great. I'm definitely going to need a lot more help here than I maybe anticipated. Not just with cleaning either, although, yeah, my flat is a bit of a mess still at the moment. Like, starting already, I guess. Some of it is motivation, but some of it also is just practically like just putting things away with one working hand is a bit of a challenge. Thankfully, I have a needs assessment at 3:30, so I can explain this to him. I was thinking of making a phone call to try and get me referred to a social worker. Maybe I'll wait for that instead. Just mention that to him. It's also occurred to me, like this is just something else that's come up since the PIP assessment that I had ages ago, and they did lie on the report when I first had it. I even I think it's in storage. It's either in storage or in my tent, but there's a copy I made of the report where I just highlighted a whole bunch of stuff where the assessor lied about what I said. And since then, I've broken my wrist pretty badly. And so not even just mentioning that I was homeless as part of my mandatory reconsideration, but since then I have this to deal with. And I've been told it can take up to a year for it to heal properly, owing to the nature of the break and what they have to do during surgery, i.e. putting metal plate into it, which may or may not be there for life, I don't know. Given how bad I've been told and shown the break is, I'm expecting it to stay there for life, a bit like this one, like the screw of my thumb. So apparently I will regain mobility, full mobility in my hands once it's fully settled down. But till then, yeah, I'm sensing it's just like one more thing I can add to my PIP claim. I'm not sure how to go about that yet. Maybe I'll mention that in the appointment as well. But here's just something else to mention where, okay, I didn't have problems making my own food or whatever. I do now. So pretty ironic how this came out, like being told that it could actually be a good thing that this all happened when it did, like get me into temp accommodation so quickly, and now being told I can mention the urologist or when I get admitted, so hopefully I'll get referred quicker for that as well. Sooner the better on that one as well, because the amount of times I nearly pissed myself going down to the bathroom, it's just, yeah. So that's really frustrating. And now my broken arm on top of it. Yeah. And I mean, like maybe bumping me up a few points for getting awarded PIP finally. Who knows? But yeah. Not sure if there's anything else worth mentioning. Oh yeah, dentist. One thing I need to do will probably be tomorrow now. So get registered with an NHS dentist in the town centre, which is going to be easy for me to do now. I think it's about like 10 minutes, quarter of an hour walk away, which is nice. So I do need to get that sorted out. Partly to get that tooth sorted out, partly maybe getting some dentures. That in there, just so it's easier for me to eat, because every time I'm pretty sure my gumline retreat has receded so much on that side, which I'm pretty sure is down to the eating on that side, because on the other side there, if I'm not chugging painkillers like Skittles, it hurts. So, yeah, fun times. Things are starting to look up, but yeah, starting to make that a long journey out of the woods. So, rebirth is messy. So, and I mentioned this year will be my rebirth year. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly given me a new perspective on things. Like, got me thinking more about things like, excuse me, got me thinking more about things like where I actually want to be living, what kind of lifestyle I'd be more suited to. It does look like I would be able to keep my storage unit going, which would be great. Which means I could get away with a smaller place. So I've got my workshop in the storage unit, and it would just be keeping my work, maybe professional work, I don't know, and my living situation separate, which is pretty cool actually. But definitely what I really need in a living situation is a smaller place, rather than the 3-bedroom house that I had before. It just got so overwhelming in the end. Even this is a bit on the overwhelming side. It's funny, like spend over a month in a 4-metre tent, then I come up here and find I have a bit of adjusting to do again. So like suddenly I have a fridge and freezer and microwave and an electric kettle again. Feels pretty weird in a nice way. There is the whole trying to juggle space for certain things. There is it's quite a good neighbourhood actually, and a few doors away on the opposite side of the road, someone's left out this like little chest of drawers bedside cabinet thing. Mentioned, I mean, it's been done up, like it's white with these decorations on it, but all I saw, especially with the notice on it saying free to good home, basically, I'm just like, every time I'm passing it, I was just like, oh, what? Well, I'd love to bring that home, but one working hand, you know. I do have a shopping trolley. It even came with a bungee cord this time, which is great. Well, I mean, if I could wangle it, get the bedside table onto the trolley and then bring it home that way, I probably could under normal circumstances. But it's the whole trying to get the thing on the trolley in the first place. Yeah, it's just a case of want, but how could I have? It's a bit annoying. I could use the extra space. There's a few other things that I brought back from the car, like switch dock, that I can now use. And yeah, I don't even have to use my extra phone for internet here either. I mean, it's worth keeping because at some point, I won't be here forever. That's the whole point of temp accommodation. But in the meantime, I have free internet here, which is awesome. It's pretty good as well. It won't take me as long time to load videos. Laptop still has a broken screen, but I have a portable monitor for it now. Now it's before getting a free TV, so I can now use that as a monitor. So yeah, that's all in all. Things are starting to improve. I am back in the thing of like browsing supermarkets and stuff and seeing things and being like, oh, that could be really useful, and then having to stop myself. It's like, could be useful, but are you going to use it? Or something better come along? How long are you going to be here? Well, let's say how long I'm going to be here. I mean, this place is furnished, as you can probably imagine, like temp accommodation. The whole idea is for people who've been sleeping rough. And yeah, where I was, it was more like wild camping, but still, technically, I've been sleeping rough for over a month. So, I mean, a lot of stuff is still in the tent. Fortunately, I found a nice area to camp in where everything's left alone. So, when I was on the bus ride back to my old place, you can look down at some point and see my tent is there. And last time I was on the bus down there, I could still see it down there. So if I go up there tomorrow, maybe. So yeah, it'll have to be tomorrow, because Friday is op day. So if I pop up there tomorrow and get some stuff from the tent. Just starting to think it out at this point. But yeah, I think that is everything. Yeah, if there's anything else I haven't thought of, then I'll mention it next time. But well, next time I make a video, it will be after my operation, so that'll be interesting. Anyway, catch you later. Hi folks, this is the 14th of May at 3:23 in the afternoon. I am back at the tent, at the campsite, which you may be able to see, and the tent is still there. I haven't been here in over a week. Something like that, 1 or 2 weeks. It was pretty weird being back here, but everything is still just as I left it. A bit overgrown, of course, but yeah. So take you on a little tour while I get some things together. So the main reason I'm here now is I've got my shopping trolley here. Nice brand new shopping trolley that I got from the town centre to bring some stuff back. Things like some of the cutlery I left behind. Oh god, that hurt. Camping table, all that kind of stuff. It's a twist my wrist somehow. And yeah, this is still in the cast. So the operation that was scheduled last week got cancelled on me, twice even. So first time I was in hospital and I was told I had the choice of either going home and be given a date or staying overnight and hope I could get in the next day. I chose the latter, and sure enough, got cancelled on me again, and so I was told to just go home. We'll phone you. We got another date. So operation has been rescheduled for tomorrow, so hopefully this time it will actually go through. I'm so ready for this to come off. It's been driving me nuts. So especially this bit right here on the edge, rubbing against my hand, something mad. So anyway, I'm going to switch cameras. Bear with me a second. So here we are, and that's the bathroom tent that's still up. But yeah, let's take a little walk around, just checking out. I don't think there's anything in here I need to bring. But yeah, it's looking a little overgrown now. That's actually pretty telling, actually. If I was still here by the time I got operated on, or if I had to wait even longer to get housed somewhere, I'd have had to cut all this away. But let's have a look in here, just out of curiosity. Excuse hands. Oh, it's hard to do this one-handed. Ow! There's a bag in there that needs to be got rid of. Oh, that's a water thing. That's a blanket that can be ditched now, I think. That's mostly. That's a spare sleeping bag. That's a sleeping bag from the purple one I'm using. Load of storage. Oh, well, I keep forgetting about that. I'll take. Yeah. I'll take that. That's book roll. Those I might be able to. That's my hiking poles. That's the broom. Oh, that was only a cheap thing. Yeah, I'll come back to sort that out in a minute. Excuse camera. Oops. Alright, the real fun and games is going to be over here. Because there are things from here I need to rescue. So, trolley. Oh, I'm pretty sure I didn't need a door like that. Maybe I did, because everything's still untouched, it looks like. Bear with. Right, let's see. Oh, I bet that's not looking too good. I haven't touched that for ages. I can stay, but I came actually partly for that table. Oops. That weighted blankets can stay there for now. Try and hide the bottle there. That needs emptying. I'll have to go up to the leisure centre with that. That's other stuff that I came to rescue, hopefully. That's my bag over there. It's my hiking bag. You can roll that up into a neat little package thing. That I need to take with. And stick those in the washing machine. Needles, I need those back. So my hand's not going to be out of commission forever. School bag, definitely. Those, definitely. Whatever's left in my gym bag, definitely. Still that cloud of lemonade there. And other stuff. I have to see what I can fit into my trolley. But yeah, I will see what I can manage. But everything is still as I left it, which is pretty impressive. So yeah, tell you what, it feels weird being back here. Anyway, I will get this stuff together and head back, and I'll catch up with you later. Hiya folks, it's 23rd of May, coming up to 4:05 in the afternoon. It's about 19 degrees outside, though it doesn't feel like it in here. I'm torn between going outside to stay awake and staying indoors because it's cooler. It doesn't really feel like it, but hey. Oh yeah, I did finally get my arm operated on just over a week ago. I'm still pretty tired. I was sleeping loads yesterday, but I think I've just about got the painkillers out of my system now. Although I was told, I'm not sure about ibuprofen, but I was told the meds I'm on, the HRT and the venlafaxine, both have blood thinner properties, which is probably how this has happened. The amount of bruising here. So yeah. Also, it's not plaster cast. I think they've just wrapped it in several layers of different bandages. I think that's to allow for the swelling. Actually, it has been pretty swollen. I think it still is in some places, but yeah, it's sore. It's a nuisance to sleep with, and it doesn't hurt as much to move my fingers, depending on how I move my fingers. It doesn't chafe like the plaster did. It doesn't leave plaster dust everywhere, but it does leave crumbs of this woolly stuff. So yeah, things like housework, shopping and stuff continue to be an absolute ball ache with this arm. That's I've got the fracture clinic next week in the morning, just to see how the wound's doing. I'm hoping I haven't accidentally pulled on the stitches, which are dissolvable thankfully, but I can feel where it pulls, and I can feel where they've cut me from where it pulls, which I think is like around there. So they've had to cut into my actual hand, which isn't great. But yeah, fun. I would actually, bear with me a sec. That's better. Just propping myself on the bed. I would like to take a minute to discuss my experience as a trans person in the hospital, because there has been, for those of you unaware, that there's been a lot of negative news in the UK media lately about like this Supreme Court ruling, for instance, and people coming up with all these stories about how they've been mistreated because of it. And excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat for some reason. So there's been a lot of stories about people being mistreated in various situations after this ruling. So I just wanted to give a positive story, just to brighten things up a little bit and restore a bit of faith in humanity, if nothing else. Not that not that I want to rub anyone's faces in it, but this is just how it's been for me. So I've mentioned a few times about how people are lovely in this area. I did go back to the tent. Well, as you would have seen before, I did go back to the tent to pick up some stuff, and this is like, oops, my phone on silent, sorry. This has been like a couple or so weeks, coming up to a month I think, since I was last at the tent, and everything was still there. So there's that. And my experience as a trans person in South Wales, I think it's the bruising that's made it more stiff than usual. But anyway, so in this area in particular, it's actually been a positive experience as a trans person. I've had the most I've had that in any way gave me a flash of deja vu to Leeds was when I was sitting in the town centre, and this guy sitting on the bench next to me, plainly drunk. He just asked them, "You male or female?" So I just said I don't have a gender, and he was like, "Oh, okay," and then he justifies himself by saying, I thought you were a woman, but when I got closer, I noticed the hair." So he wasn't even a dick about it, unlike the folks in Leeds. So there's that, and there's also the experience in hospital I want to talk about, because that's been one of the major bugbears regarding this court ruling, because we still have the whole thing with single sex wards. So I was put in this ward, but I'm jumping ahead of myself here. So I changed my name twice. Once when I was going through the initial female to male transition, from where I went to Ms. to Mr. I changed my middle name at that point to Simon. The second time I changed my name was when I broke contact with my family over 10 years ago. So it was mainly a symbolic thing, but it was also, I suppose it was part of another gender transition when I finally learned that non-binary was a thing. And that was when I dropped the middle name entirely. Went for a more unisex sounding first name and changed my last name. But on the hospital records, I also changed my title from Mr. to Mix, by the way, so MX. This hasn't registered entirely with the hospital, so I'm still down in their records for some reason as Mr. Simon. So I automatically got put into the men's wards. I don't know if it was even noted in my hospital records that I was born female or what, but yeah. So on both occasions, I say both because I think I mentioned last time that I went in last week, but my operation week before, only my operation got cancelled. So both times I was put on men's wards. The second time caused a bit of confusion with the nurse, who looked at me and I'm like, "Are we mixing wards now? Are we mixing the wards now?" But on both occasions, bearing in mind there were already male patients in there, so pretty obvious it's a men's ward. So I'm going in there and plop myself down in the bed. Patients don't give a shit. So in fact, on the first occasion, the guy next to me actually read me as female and was addressing me like as such, but they weren't bothered. Like, we were all just chatting away to each other, like, just patients on a ward. Like no one bothered about what gender what gender it was or anything. The second time was a bit different because one of the nurses clocked me read me as female rather than male. And there was also there's the bit where you go through admissions where they're asking you all these questions. A couple of them, there was like, what sex were you assigned at birth? I was like, female. And then she's like, what pronouns do you use? So I said, they, them. And she was using this tablet with the drop down, like, select tool. And she just scrolled through the list and selected it. And I just remarked more to myself, I have it there. That's amazing. So we had a bit of a chat about it. And I mentioned a few videos ago, I think, about the other issues I've been experiencing. I was advised to mention those issues, like I've been referred to urology when I went into hospital. Like, I have a weak bladder, I use pads. So I'd mentioned this before. So the nurse, when we were talking, she spoke in a hushed voice, drew the privacy curtain round, and she's like, so these bladder problems you mentioned before, is that due to surgery? So like being really sensitive about it, which is great. So I just looked at it like, that's what the GP and I think, yeah. So yeah, it's like, I can't remember what it was like in Swansea. I don't like, with it being a city, it's a bit worse. Like, the people tend to be worse in general. Don't think I had any shit for being trans. I did in Leeds. I mean, I was lucky in Leeds in that I never got physically attacked or anything, but people were dicks about it. Whereas in Wales, I don't think I've had any problems. Not that I remember anyway, but in this area, in this area, I definitely haven't. In fact, like, I don't know, like, no one's kicked me out of any single sex spaces, like wards, for instance. The gym, when I was in the village, I had this notice up regarding single sex classes and saying, if you're non-binary, then just go into the changing areas and classes that you feel comfortable with. It's that easy, folks. Like, I don't know what, well, I probably do know why so much fuss has been made about us these days, but that's how it should be, you know? We're just people trying to live our lives, same as everyone else. And then the last few days, well, last couple of days, you're finding out that, like, now they're talking about rolling out chemical castration for sex offenders. And first thing I thought about when I read that was Alan Turing. I mean, we all know what happened to that poor guy, right? Yeah, and I mentioned on one comment on a Reddit sub, we were talking about this, and I was just like, yeah, first it's to get people on board with punishing sex offenders. Then you got the you've got other people like the TERFs, especially talking about. I mean, we've already had this ridiculous bill passed about defining sex, but like biological sex and whatever, and just like the whole, if you don't fit the stereotypical masculine or feminine ways of being, ways of looking, then you can't use either toilets. I mean, I think it is already starting to happen where cis people are being affected by this. I remember reading about one cis lesbian who got beaten up in the women's toilets because she looked too butch. So, yeah, I mean, it's clearly not about protecting women or kids for that matter. Like, they can pretend it is what they like. But yeah, so it like these turf gender critical, however you want to dress them up, have already, like, I think they practically admitted already they just don't want us to exist. Like, I would say exist in public, but really, like, they don't want us to exist at all. It's pretty obvious. So I think that they've been making noises for a while about making being trans a sex offence, which in itself is an extremely slippery slope, as you could probably imagine. I mean, we've seen this once or twice before, right? So if that is added to the sex offence registry, then it's pretty clear, at least to some of us, that they wouldn't put us on the hormones that we want to be on. They'd force us to go on our biological hormones. Like, I won't use myself as an example because, I mean, I am taking biological sex hormones, but like, say, if you're a trans man and you're put on this list, you'd be forced to take estrogen. Well, I think it would be estrogen. Yeah, it probably would be. But if you're pre-op, I'm not entirely sure how it works because chemical castration isn't HRT. I don't think. I think you were just literally put on, I think, blockers were mentioned. So if that's the case, then that's even more screwed up, because if you don't have any decent hormone levels in your body, like sex hormones, obviously, don't have any decent sex hormone levels in your body, your bones basically disintegrate. Like, you get more prone to osteoporosis, among other things. So, don't know what they'd be trying to achieve with that. And there's also, like, Alan Turing ended up being suicidal and ending himself. I don't know how much of that was down to the way he was treated, or the effect the hormones had on him, or maybe a combo, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there's all that to it as well. Their excuse is the prisons are getting too full. Yeah, I'm not sure what to. I mean, it is plainly bullshit. They're trying to justify it by saying, like, 60% of people wouldn't reoffend if we did that. That's, I mean, you're thinking about, in terms of releasing these people back into society, that means you're still releasing 40% of people who would reoffend back into society. So, make it make sense, you know. But yeah, let's turn more into a diary keeping political rant type thing, but better out than in, you know. Yeah, I mean, I could probably go into a lot more about the state of things these days. I probably shouldn't. But yeah, so yeah, it's still hurts when I move it in certain ways. Like the most annoying thing with this is like muscle memory, where I instinctively move it in a certain way, and yeah, ouch. So yeah, I don't think it's immobilised my joint as much as it should have. I'm not sure about that. But they're going to replace it with a splint eventually anyway, I think. It depends how it turns out. The very fact that it's been 4 weeks healing in a cast before being operated on, it's hopefully it's going to turn out all right. Yeah, I should probably leave it there by now. I think there's enough for a full episode. So yeah, I know I'm getting a bit sloppy with updates and videos these days. I mean, I have slightly more important things to think about, you know. So yeah, I'll see you next time, I guess. Laters.